Viraj will start the recording here in a
Yeah,
second.
it's recording. Yeah,
Okay, very good.
we are live.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad you're with us today. Listen, if you would, just go into the chat and let us know where you were from. And also, I'd like to know if you're going to TC. How many people are going to TC out there? We'd like to do a little count on our own. We know that some of you, this might be your first time here in the Newbie users group. And there's a few things you need to understand about housekeeping. You'll notice right away that your microphones have been turned off and your cameras have been turned off. We expect maybe between 400 and 500 people live on this call. So we just can't deal with that many people and having everybody live on the call. But the meeting is being recorded. And that recording will be available probably sometime next week. Now, we would ask that you do two things. First of all, if you want to communicate with each other, that's great. Use the chat to do that. But if you have a question for us or for one of the speakers, please put it in the Q&A. Maddie and Laura and Reyes are going to be monitoring the Q&A, and they're going to be answering your questions, and we'll be able to find the question more easily that way than if it's just in the chat. Klaus?
Yep.
Okay, first of all, if you're new to the group, this is your group. We started this group, Klaus and I started this group a little over 2 years ago because we found that people who were relatively new to Tableau, and that's like within a year of using Tableau, didn't feel real comfortable with the user groups that were available. The presentations and the material didn't meet their need. It was maybe too elevated. And we found this group about 2 years ago. We plan to meet every 6 to 8 weeks, and it comes in two parts. Klaus and I do a How Does That Work session where we take a deep dive into one of the features into Tableau, and then we have a guest speaker, and you help us decide who the guest speaker is going to be. We like to hear what you want to hear. What topics are important for you at this point in your Tableau journey. Klaus? Here's the team. It's Klaus and I founded the team, but Viraj, Reyes, Maddie, and Laura are the people that actually keep us going and do most of the work. Why don't we start with Viraj? Why don't you introduce yourself, Viraj?
Hey, hi everyone. This is Viraj here. I'm from Mumbai, India. I'm a lead analyst at Merkle, and I've been part of this Newbie talk for last 2 years. It's been an exciting journey. Happy to be here, and I'm also on LinkedIn Live. So if you are not able to access it here, we can meet on LinkedIn.
Okay,
Cool.
Laura.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Hi, I'm Laura. I joined this group, I think, almost 2 years ago. Insane. 2022, I believe, and it has been like such a wonderful opportunity ever since. I work at a law firm, and it's been so fascinating hearing, like, basically we live on Excel in our department. So like having Tableau and editing all the sessions, it's been so wonderful. Every single meeting, you learn something new. So I'm so excited to be here. And as I mentioned in my chat, Viraj is our Bevy savior. I call him that. He basically helps us out every single thing about Bevy. So thank you, Viraj. And so grateful to be part of the team.
Okay. Maddie?
Hi, everyone. Maddie Wild, used to be Zook. I got married last year. And I'm from Indianapolis. I work at a private foundation, and I'm on the learning and evaluation team. I'm the analytics manager, so I do public data analytics and work with our grantees.
Klaus?
Yeah, my name is Klaus. I'm from Germany, and I work at Münster University of Applied Sciences. So I'm a professor for management accounting, and I have been using Tableau since 2017. And I'm also part of the Tableau Visionary program in my 6th year now.
He's being modest. He's a Hall of Fame visionary. Okay. It's not like high school where the 6 years you kind of got left behind. No, he is a Hall of Fame visionary, as is Andy, our guest speaker today. Reyes?
Hi, everyone. My name is Reyes Murrieta. I joined the team shortly after Laura, so I've been here about 2 years now. Been using Tableau since 2020 and continue to love it and continue to learn every time I join this session. I'm from Colorado, but currently traveling around and find myself in Central California.
Okay, and I'm Jim Dehner. I live in or just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I am a Tableau visionary and also a forums forums ambassador. And I've been using Tableau for about 8 years, and we're all glad to have you here with us today. Okay. Well, what are we going to do today? We're going to finish up this introduction, and then we're going to take a look, and Klaus is primarily going to drive this part. We're going to take a look at how does that look. We're going to take a look at not using, we're taking a look at transitioning out of those tedious tables and looking at using the real power of Tableau in visual analytics to provide better insights into the data itself. And then after Klaus is done, our guest speaker, Andy Kriebel. Andy, wave hi to everybody. There you go. Andy's going to talk to us about building your career using Tableau Public. And the fun part is our superstars, Maddie and Laura, will have a Kahoot quiz for us. And I'm going to tell you right up front, there's no money involved here, no prizes, but you do get bragging rights. So it's always a lot of fun. Klaus, let's go on. Our next meeting is May 22nd. And you can see where we're going. And that meeting is we're going to focus on the order of operation. And for me, the order of operation is the single most important thing you need to understand when using Tableau. When I see questions come up that where users are having difficulty, most often it's because they've done something out of the order of operation. So this is an extremely important meeting, and I hope you all sign up for the meeting. And we also have a guest speaker at that meeting.
We do?
Yes, we do. And Lindsay Betzendahl. And if you don't know Lindsay, Lindsay's a superstar. Lindsay's a 5-time Tableau visionary. She's also an ambassador. A lot of you might know her from the healthcare tug, but she's also got 14 Viz of the days. And even Klaus said, that's incredible. You know, that's incredible.
It is.
Now, if you're going to TC, you have an opportunity to see her and meet her live on April 29th at 10 o'clock. She's doing a presentation on democratizing school safety data with embedded analytics. And if you use that QR code, you will sign up for our next meeting on the 22nd here, and you'll be able to, May 22nd, you'll be able to see her at our next meeting. Klaus, let's move ahead.
Yes, thank you, Jim, and welcome everyone also from my side. If you have been with us in the January and in the March meeting, you know that we have put all the topics for this year under a common theme, and that is helping you on your journey of transitioning from Excel to Tableau. And we already covered some milestones, some basic topics, like the first one, understanding the data structure, how Tableau is different from what Excel does. We did modify data in the last session with joins and unions and relationships. And today we want to look into basic visualizations. So visualizations as the core of what Tableau does and why we think Tableau is such a great tool. Like Jim said, we are around for a while already. We have uploaded all our meetings on our YouTube playlist. So grab the QR code, and again, there's already lots of content available. And I'm sure you will find something that is valuable for you as well. Okay, for today, basic visualizations. Moving away from tables. We all know our audiences, they often want a table, but today we want to look a little bit into why it is better maybe to visualize data instead of just delivering text tables with raw data. And I will talk a little bit about the basic concepts of how visualizations work. And then we want to look a little bit into Show Me, because we think that Show Me is actually a good place to start in Tableau, especially when you are at the very beginning. Then Show Me will help you to make some progress quite quickly. And then we also have Andy today with us, and Andy will look into some more advanced topics and some great advice on your journey to become really good at Tableau. So, like I said, many of your audiences, or maybe of your customers, might ask, why should I visualize my data at all? Why is that even necessary? I'm really good. I'm really okay with tables. So why do I need visualizations? And I came across a quote a couple of time ago, and that quote said that our brain processes images 60,000 times faster than text. And I try to explain this a little bit with these little emojis. You see, I've added this skeptical one in my header, but here are some more. And with these emojis, you already see the benefit of visualizations, because you can process these emojis quite quickly. Why? Because we as mankind, we are very good at seeing and interpreting faces, because we needed this skill to survive and to make progress. And these emojis or images in general, they address our system one, which is very fast, which is automatically there, which is always active, which is also emotional and stereotyping, which can be an opportunity and a risk at the same time. So with regards to data visualization, if data visualization is done wrong, then this could also be a risk, of course, because we get very fast to the brain of our audience. But if we send the wrong message, that's, of course, a problem. Now, if there's a system one, I think you're already wondering when system two appears. And now I'm really activating your system two. And you might see, and you might realize that this is different. So 13 times 17, I would go like 10 times 17 is 170, 3 times 17, 51, 221. We get there, but again, this is different, and this is our system two. It's slow, it's really active. I have to activate it. It's logical. I'm literally calculating the result here. So, and if I ask why should I visualize my data at all, because I want to activate the system one in my audience instead of the system two, because I want them to get to the insights faster and in a better and more efficient way. How does that work practically? Yeah, and I mean, it's really a basic thing, but there has been lots of research on this topic. And there was a famous guy called Jacques Bertin, and he described in 1983 that data visualization basically is a process of converting raw data into pictures of information. And we are then able to take this information and to perceive this information fast and effective. Yeah, so super simple, thinking of Tableau to data, then we drag around the pills. This way we create an image, and then we present the image to our audience, and they get the insights from it. Yeah. So when we look into Tableau, and if we try to transfer this concept, then we connect to the data, and then we create this image by dragging around the pills from the data pane, for example, to columns and rows to define the position of our view. We can drag pills, marks card to use attributes like color, like size, like shape. To build these images step by step. We can decide about different mark types depending on what we want to create. Yeah, so this is how this works. Yeah, so the theoretical process: take the data, make an image out of it, and then we get to the fast. There are some general recommendations. I won't dig too deep in, but one is make good use of system one. Yeah, don't confuse your audiences. So make sure that these attributes that our brain is able to process quite fast and quite quickly, that you use them effectively in your visualization. Yeah. Also, every element should be there for a strategic reason. Yeah, so think of every element in your visualization and how it helps your audience to get the information from your visualization that you want them to get. Yeah, and the third general recommendation: keep your view clean and simple. Yeah, every element in a visualization adds a cognitive burden to your audience, and you should think about every element and about the benefit that adds every element to your visualization. And if it doesn't add any value, keep it out of the view. So these are recommendations, but when you're really at the beginning and you maybe have not that much experience with creating data visualizations, then you might ask now, but how do I make good use of system one? And how do I use these attributes strategically? And how do I keep my view clean and simple? And I think there are some answers to this to these questions, but I think the most important one is you have to practice that. We will hear from Andy later today, and I think Andy has practiced a lot. So you have thousands of workbooks online on Tableau Public. We all practiced a lot to become really good and to always think about how which is the best way to visualize a certain relationship in our data. How can we answer certain analytical questions in the best way, and how can we make it really, really easy for our audiences to get the information from the visualization that we want them to get. And so it's practicing, and again, I think Andy's talk will be much about this topic. For my part, I want to show you how to start it. Yeah, and again, I think Show Me is a good way to start. So that will be the first part of my presentation, of my demo, and then we look a little bit into formatting. So how to basically keep your view clean and simple, and how to do that. Okay, so let's switch to Tableau. So when you install Tableau for the first time and you open it, you already get Show Me. Sometimes people close it and forget about Show Me. So if you want to work with Show Me, then click this little icon at the top right of the interface, and yeah, we can look a little bit into what we get here. So Show Me is a collection of 24 basic visualizations. And people from the community have called Show Me also the pills pusher, because this is actually what Show Me does. I will show that in a second, but let's first have a look at how you can leverage Show Me to create visualizations. Yeah, so I made a list for today. So let's look into some things. So for example, here top right is a highlight table. And when you hover with your mouse to the highlight table tile, you see at the bottom of Show Me that for highlight tables, you should try one or more dimensions and one measure. Okay, good. So one or more dimensions, we talked about that topic earlier. Here the variables above that little gray divider line, and I want to look into subcategories, break it down to years, and I want to look into sales. So I press Command and select the variables in the data pane, and you see previously highlight tables were grayed out, but now I am able to click the highlight table, and when I click it, I get a highlight table. Tableau set the pills, the year pill and the subcategory pill, the discrete dimensions to columns and rows, and put sales on color and sales as a label. So this way we get a highlight table. Second example, a bar chart. Again, we have different kind of bar charts. So here we have horizontal bars, we have stacked bars, we have side-by-side bars. And most of the time, a simple bar chart does the job. So let's see how we can create a horizontal bar chart. Again, we need 0 or more dimensions. So you don't even need one, but you can optionally add dimensions, and we need a measure. So if I wanted to look at profit by subcategory, again, highlight or select the two, then you even get that red border here. So this is the recommended chart type for the variables you selected. Click it and you get the bar chart. Yeah, then do some sorting, add a label if you want, and you're done. Yeah, so this is a bar chart. Then line charts. Yeah, if you can get confused with dates and do I use discrete or continuous dates? Yeah, again, you show me. So for example, if you want to do a continuous line chart, you need one date field. You can break it down to dimensions, and you need one measure at least. Yeah. So we could look into the sales by order date. Oh, that was the wrong key. So sales by order date, and break it down, let's say, to customer segments. Yeah. So the same trick. I want a continuous line chart, and it's as easy as that. Yeah. If you want a different granularity for your date, switch from year to quarter or to month or whatever you want. Yeah, so that was the line chart. This also works quite well with a little bit more complicated charts, like, for example, a histogram to learn a little bit about the distribution of your data. Yeah, you see, a histogram is one of the default or one of the chart types in Show Me. So what do we need for a histogram? Not much. We just need a measure. And by clicking the histogram, we get a histogram for a measure. We get a new field, the sales bin field. We can edit this field to define the bins in a different way. We won't do that now. And the fifth example, so my background is in finance and controlling, and bullet graphs, for example, something I use very, very often to compare actuals to budgets or to compare to last year. Yeah, and that is also one of the default visualizations in Show Me. So you have it here at the bottom in the middle. And for bullet graphs, we need two measures. So the one, in my example, the actuals, for example, and the budget, the one you want to compare to. And you can break it down to dimensions. So let's do that again. I would say subcategory is again my choice for the dimension. And you see I've prepared sales for the current year and sales for the prior year. And by just clicking the bullet graph tile, I get a bullet graph. Yeah, so that's a nice one. If you want to, you can adjust this a little bit. So for example, I think I would remove the reference bands, so like that. Maybe I would do some color, checking if the sum of sales of the current year is bigger than the sum of the sales the prior year, like that. Put that on color, then add that color a little bit. Yeah, so orange in this one is good. So maybe that can be a light gray, like that, and blue is bad for me in this case. So make it red, like that. Sort everything. So sorting doesn't work. Let's see. I need to sort by the current year. Let's do it like that. So sales, current year, descending, and I get a nice bullet graph with the help of Show Me. Yeah, so this is one way of using Show Me. Yeah, get started by selecting one of these chart types, then learn about the fields you need to build these chart types, and then just hit the tile and you get the visualization you want.
Klaus,
Second,
Klaus,
yeah,
let me just weigh in here a second. This is so important for new users. I see questions all the time come out to the forum and they don't know how to make this chart. They don't know how to make that chart. This is so important to understand how to do this. And quite honestly, I never used it this way. So thank you. I learned something today. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Klaus.
Okay, good. Thank you, Jim. Second use case. So let's build something. For example, when you're at the beginning, maps are super sexy. So if you have spatial fields like we do have here, then building a map is often something that is very attractive to people. So for example, if we had sales, we could build a map quite easily. So like that. Let's also put a label on it. And we see sales for the East region in the US. And we see, okay, New York is quite strong. What is this here? West Virginia is not so well. Yeah. Second way of using Show Me is to get ideas for alternative chart types, alternative visualizations. Yeah. So Tableau even recommended a map, which I wouldn't do in this case, but maybe a bar chart is as good as a map, because if it's just about the sales, something like this would also work. Or if you want to learn about the distribution of sales in the East region, then something like a part-to-whole visualization could be something. I'm not clicking the pie chart, but maybe a tree map could be something that could be of interest in this case. Yeah, so you not only get started quite easily with Show Me, but you also get ideas for different visualizations and show different relationships in your data with Show Me quite easily. So maybe that's the first part. Then second part, keep the view clean and simple. And I love this topic, and very influential for me was a talk by Ryan Sleeper I saw at a conference in, I think, in 2018, and he showed to the people how he transformed a default basic chart to something that looked really nice and clean. And I'm trying to do what Ryan did that time. So let's imagine we're again looking at subcategory, and maybe we want to do something like this. So we have sales for our subcategory, and we want to do this with a bar chart. And I'm really also interested into the profits of the subcategory. Yeah, and I want to show the profits as a circle and create a dual axis chart out of this. Yeah, like that, and then synchronize the axis. Yeah, so we built that chart, but by default, this is not looking very nice. Yeah, and this is what I try to set with my general recommendations. Keep the view clean and simple. So what I would now do is to really think about how can I make it as easy as possible to my audience to get that information from this chart. Yeah, so maybe first of all, I would increase the size a little bit. Yeah, then subcategory is cut off. I'm giving it some more space to breathe. I think I don't need two axes. Let's hide this axis, and let's say this is not just sales, but this is sales and profit, like that. I would do a little bit about color. So I don't need these bars to be orange. So let's drag off measure names here and make the bars just maybe a light gray. I like that. And for the circles, let's increase the size a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. And actually, I think I could use color here. I could put profit directly on color like this, or I could do a Boolean calculation like I did in my previous example with the bullet chart and make circles red if the profit is negative and blue if the profit is positive. Maybe I could also use some labels. So let's give it labels. And I think I would put the labels to the other side, like that. Because this way I can also put labels on the bar chart, like that. If that's too much for you, I mean, that's always kind of a decision you have to make. We could get rid of some of the precision, for example, go for K dollars instead of showing all the numbers. But that's maybe something for later. Then you see that Tableau added all these lines by default. I don't want all of these lines. So for example, there are border lines. You see here, these are the row dividers. Let's get rid of them. These are the column dividers. Let's get rid of them. Actually, I think I have too many labels. I will hide the sales labels again. I think I like to put some more emphasis on the zero line. So maybe make that a solid line and give it some more color like that. And then maybe I bring back some help to differentiate the different lines of that chart. So I could do that with row banding, for example, like that. Or I could do row dividers. Let's do it like that. Give it a light gray color and bring them back in. And then when looking at that, I could try to get rid of the grid lines here, like that. You see, I'm going back and forth, and I'm trying to get to a point where I'm really happy with my chart. I think the bars are a little bit too wide, so let's decrease the size a little bit. And basically just play around and go back and forth until you have something that you're really happy with. And I hope you all see that this is already quite a difference from the default by just thinking about the elements in the view and make everything nice and clean. Okay, good. Maybe so far for my demo. Now I need, wait a second, to go back to my slides. And again, practicing, I think, is key. And we are lucky that there are so many resources available out there. So if you made these first steps, maybe with Show Me and with other resources like Tableau e-learning, for example, then at some point you might want to go to the next step. And for example, Andy's visual vocabulary is a great resource where Andy also shows more complex visualizations and how to build them using the Financial Times visual vocabulary. So this is, by the way, the most successful visualization on Tableau Public ever. So one of the great things that Andy has already created. Jim, are there questions in the Q&A?
There is one question that's still left. You might be able to handle that offline. It's about putting a legend on the bullet chart that you just created.
Yeah, okay, I will take care of that.
Okay, very good. Yeah, Maddie's working on it too, but you can go in there. Okay, excellent presentation. as usual. Okay, now we get to meet our guest speaker. We kind of hinted around that Andy's pretty well known in the world of data visualization. I mean, you can go through his credits. Klaus, he's in the top 100 most influential people. I mean, that goes without saying. He's a Tableau visionary. He's a Hall of Fame visionary. He is an icon in the business. He was an icon when I first joined using Tableau. Over 1,300 visualizations and 12 million views, and you can just go on and on and on about all the things that Andy has done in the community. But kind of more important than that, if we can go to the next one, the real Andy is a family guy, and he lives outside of London with his wife Ava. And if you don't know Ava Murray should ring a bell, but Ava Murray originally founded Makeover Monday. But he lives outside of London with his wife and their new baby. And correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, 10 months? 10 months old. Yeah, and their dog, Maggie. Now, one additional thing about Andy that I know that maybe some people don't know is Andy's also an Ironman. He's done an Ironman triathlon. He also does half Ironman triathlons. And that takes an effort in itself. Andy, the floor is yours. Enjoy yourself with this crowd today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the very kind introduction. We actually don't live anywhere near London now. We moved about a little over a year ago, and we live about as far away from London as you can in England. So we are in the very, very northeastern part up near Scotland now. So
okay,
technically it's outside of London. You're right. So. Great. And Klaus, fantastic presentation. I love the way that you explain Tableau, and I'm going to mention you in a minute as I go through my presentation.
So looking forward.
Let me share my screen, my window. Here we go. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you about, do I know John Crofts? No, I don't. John, sorry about that. Funny comments about London. Yeah, there's a big argument in the UK about where the north is, where the north starts. And there's a common argument about it being an area called the Watford Gap. Watford's a city in the UK. And I'm getting completely off track from what I'm going to be talking about. But the comment Gus left made me think of this. There was a study done by a data scientist to try to figure out where the north actually starts in the UK. And there's two chains of, I guess, coffee shops or food places. There's one called Pret a Manger, which I think they're in the US now as well. And there's another one called Greg's. So Pret is a more London-based, you typically see them more in the south. And Greg's you tend to see more in the north because it was founded in Newcastle. And they have a very, very different clientele as well. So there's a pretty big income discrepancy between the people that frequent the two places. So this data scientist took all of the Greg's restaurants and all of the Pret restaurants and did a study to kind of find where the transition is from Pret to Greg's. And guess where it was? Anybody want to guess? It's at the Watford Gap. So what people have said for a very long time is actually proven by data. So anyway, and Greg's, despite being a very low-cost place, has unbelievable vegan food. They have an incredible vegan sausage roll. So, and that's how you build your Tableau Public profile. You just, create visualizations about sausage rolls and things like that. Anyway, so that is whose fault is that? Somebody got me off track there. Anyway, I don't remember who it was. Okay. I completely forgot what I'm going to talk about. Oh yeah, Tableau Public profile. Why should you create a Tableau Public profile? So, the simplest way to think about the Tableau Public profile is it's one of your easiest ways to get into the community and really start participating in the community. We have great user groups like the Newbie Tableau user group. There's the local Tableau user groups. There are different types of user groups focused on specific topics. And Jim runs the Nashville user group as well with some other folks. So you can pretty much find anything that you want to get involved with in the Tableau community. But Tableau Public is the best place you can go to participate in the more visualization side of the community, I would say. So I think of kind of two parts. There's the social side of Tableau, which tends to be more user groups and gatherings and things like that. The conference, those are more like social things, right? That's the social side of the community. The technical or portfolio side of the community is on Tableau Public. Would you guys agree with that? Is that kind of a general distinction you can make between the two? And the forums, of course, is another area. So Jim is prominent on the forums, and that's another place that I would consider more of the technical part of the community. But ultimately, you're being a part of the Tableau community, you probably are going to have a Tableau Public profile. So when I originally gave this talk at the Data Career Summit maybe a month or so ago, and I decided that I would crowdsource the presentation because I was actually being pretty lazy about creating the presentation. So I posted a question on Slack and I posted a question on LinkedIn, basically asking people, what do you wish someone told you before you started, right? Why should someone have a data visualization portfolio? And it came down to three common themes. One is to build your skills. One is to improve your career. And the third one is to be part of your community. And I'm going to take you through each of those. So there are tons and tons of different ways to build your skills. I already mentioned Tableau Public. I mentioned the forums. But one of the problems that I see is people try to do too many things when they first get started, right? This is a newbie tug. You need to focus on the simple things before you try to do anything else. Master one skill before you move on to the next thing. So for example, I can promise you it will serve you well if you master line charts and bar charts. It sounds boring, but if you can do those, you've created 90% of the things you're going to do at work, just by becoming really good at line charts and bar charts. And you might think, well, I'll just use Show Me and create a line chart and a bar chart, and that would work. But we saw Klaus just give a simple demo on how to clean it up and make it look a lot better and a lot more impactful. That didn't take a ton of work, but it made the visualizations much, much easier to understand. And it doesn't really feel like your standard bar chart anymore. So before you jump in too deep, make sure that you master one thing before you move on to something else. The next thing you could do is probably focus on developing a style. Now, these don't have to be in this order. These are just the way my thoughts came through to me. If you look at Ellen Blackburn, so she's with the Information Lab in the UK. She went through the Data School, which is the program, training program that I used to run down in London. What do you see when you first look at this profile, right? These pictures are really small, but do you see a common theme? Does anybody see a common theme? Maybe the colors? I see lots of pastels, right? So that's one of Ellen's themes, right? That's kind of what she's known for. That's her style. She builds a lot of pastel color things, and she does that because they're soft, they're gender neutral. It's very easy to use complementary colors with pastels that aren't overpowering, right? She's developed this style that when I see a dashboard, I'm like, oh, that's an Ellen dashboard without even knowing that she created it. Or I could say, oh, I see this on Klaus's Tableau Public profile. I bet that he was inspired by Ellen to create this one, right? So it's a great way by building your Tableau Public profile. Once you start, learning more and more about Tableau, think about, is there a kind of a style you can create that you can become recognized for? So if you were to go out and look at Ellen's profile and you said, or let's say you're an employer and you wanted to look at somebody that builds fantastic looking dashboards, this would serve the purpose, right? Ellen has built a portfolio. She is kind of like a graphic designer now, right? Somebody doesn't have to go look at her resume. And I'm going to get into the career chat in a minute. But somebody can just look at her Tableau Public profile and say, you know what? I want to hire her to build a dashboard for my company, or I want her to come work for us. The other thing you could do is maybe you want to focus more, instead of on the style side of things, maybe you want to focus on more creative side of things, right? So if you look at Shreya's portfolio, she also went through the data school. You'll see a theme here. So you can see that her visualizations are not simple visualizations like like Ellen's. Now, I don't mean to belittle Ellen's. They're not simple. They're still complicated visualizations, but Ellen's are much more about being reusable for a business perspective, right? Everything Ellen creates, you could reuse on a day-to-day basis, where Shreya's things are great if you want to learn really technical topics, right? She does all these crazy lines. I still don't know how people do this kind of stuff. I've been using Tableau for 17 years, and I have no idea how Klaus curves a line. Still learning every day. But this is another avenue you could take. You could focus on style. You could focus on creativity. You could focus on learning new techniques. So if you look at Serena's profile, so Serena's a really up-and-comer in the Tableau community. She also went through the data school. I notice they're all women as well. And you can see that she has a pretty wide variety of skills, but they all demonstrate very technical skills, right? So they're not necessarily super creative. They're not necessarily all about style. She's got a really good mix of everything. So you can see a really well-rounded skill set here. None of these things look like anything else. She's got a bit of business dashboard in there. She's got some tile maps, all different kinds of things that show a really wide variety of technical skills. But what all three of those did first, what all three of these women did first, is they learned the fundamentals. And then once they figured out those fundamentals, they knew how to solve problems. And they knew, given this data set, how can I think through this problem to build this visualization I want? And that's a skill that you can only get by practicing. So if you want to master the basics, these are 4 places to start. Makeover Monday, of course, it's been going since 2016. It was actually started by Andy Cutgrave and I, but Eva helped me run it since 2017. And now we have Chimdi and Irene and Harry Bearden are the ones that run it now. I gave it up after the end of last year. I still do Makeover Monday, but I gave up running Makeover Monday. Makeover Monday, you get a brand new data set every week. It's clean, different topic. So you can focus on a really, really wide variety of visualizations that you end up building on your Tableau Public portfolio. You also have something like Back to Viz Basics. Now theirs are much more themed around, for example, there might be a topic one week on, I think, build your best bar chart was one, or build your best line chart. So again, you're really focusing on those basics. So the combination of Back to Viz Basics and Makeover Monday are fantastic for establishing expertise in those fundamentals. Then you have projects like Storytelling with Data and Real World Fake Data. So Real World Fake Data is great if you want to learn to build business style dashboards, right? That's more of a dashboarding type of project. It's also a great place just to get really interesting data sets to use that are something you might experience in the real world, hence the name Real World Fake Data. But does anybody know a Tableau Hall of Famer that got their start with Makeover Monday? Can anybody name one? I think probably the first couple of visualizations were with Makeover Monday. I don't know if you know.
I know of several. I know of several ones.
Yeah, but there's one in particular that's actually speaking now, Klaus.
Yeah.
Who, I mean, that's how he got really good at Tableau, because he practiced doing Makeover Monday every single week. And hopefully Klaus agrees with that. But it helped him set a foundation for how to build lots of variety of visualizations. And I bet you out of, I don't know how many visionaries are there, about 40, probably something like that. I bet at least half of them have done a lot of Makeover Mondays, if I had to guess, at least half. So it's a really easy way to build a profile. It's an easy way to continue to improve your skills. And the best part is you don't have to do any data prep. So you could just jump right in. Okay. Oh, it looks like Charlotte put a link in the chat to that article I was referencing. Now, one of the biggest problems I see, I mentioned earlier that people jump into the technical too quickly. People get very discouraged because they start doing Workout Wednesday, their second or third week using Tableau. They're really excited about participating in community projects, which is absolutely fantastic. But you will quickly get very, what's the word? I don't want to say dejected, but you're going to be, maybe somebody can think of the word I'm trying to think of, but you're going to get very, you're going to struggle if you go into any of these 4 projects before you, they're all great community projects, but they all require really deep technical skills to really participate, right? Project Health Viz, that's really about communicating healthcare data in a really effective and impactful way. If you don't understand the basics first, you'll certainly be able to participate. Don't let me push you away from that. But you'll be able to contribute a lot more if you master the basics first. Workout Wednesday in particular, so I started that project in 2017. Those are unbelievably difficult challenges in Tableau. I was asked to come back as a guest contributor last week, and it was by far the hardest Workout Wednesday I've ever created. And I've probably created about 50 of them. And it was, if this one is a 10, the next one down is probably a 6. That's how much harder this one was. So if you really want to test yourself, try last week's Workout Wednesday, but don't do it until you've mastered the basics. Otherwise, you will certainly be put off and you'll get completely lost and you really get discouraged, right? And we don't want to see that from people that are new in the community. Now let's talk about that second bit of the common theme that I saw, and that was your career. And what I'm experiencing, and I know it's how I hire people, is I never look at your resume, right? I don't care where you went to school. I don't care what your grades were. I don't care what you studied. What matters to me is, can you do the job? And I think more and more, from what I'm seeing, more and more employers are going that direction. So what they want to understand is they want to be able to see what you've done and how you've done it. And that's where your profile comes into play. One of my recommendations, a lot of people disagree with this, is to never delete anything from your Tableau Public profile. When I am looking to hire somebody, I go to their Tableau Public profile, and the first thing I do is I scroll to the bottom. I want to see what their oldest thing was and how that looked. And then I gradually scroll up until I get to the most recent visualization. And I want to see, has this person grown over time? Have they learned over time? And it's easy to see that just through the thumbnails that you see on Tableau Public, right? Go back to Jim's profile, or go back to Klaus's profile, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Would you guys agree? If you go back to your old Tableau Public visualizations, they're nothing. You wouldn't even recognize them for now. I have my original visualizations out there. They're terrible. But I thought they were fantastic when I started because I was learning a lot. So don't delete that stuff. You're proud of what you created, right? You wouldn't create that now probably, or I wouldn't create, back then I wouldn't create what I do now. But it's important for me that I see that people can learn over time and show that progression. Tableau Public is now becoming almost like your new CV or resume, as we say in the US. And again, if I used this analogy earlier, if let's say that you're having an extension put on your house and you need to get it decorated. You go out to, you're going to want to hire, let's say you're going to hire an interior decorator. Has anybody ever hired an interior decorator by looking at their resume or where they went to school? I've never heard of it. Where's the first place you go? You probably go to their website, right? And they probably have a portfolio on their website. They may have a Pinterest board of things that they created or an Instagram account, right? They should have a portfolio of their work to show you, is this person a match for what I'm looking for? Would you ever hire somebody to be an interior designer that doesn't have a portfolio? You wouldn't, right? You'd be a complete crapshoot. So you want to make sure that you have that profile to demonstrate your skills. And here's Priya's. If you don't know Priya, she's pretty famous. She's a visionary now as well. Also went through the data school. And, she was fantastic before she even joined the data school. But if you want to just unbelievably beautiful, polished visualizations, probably I might say she is the best user of space in a dashboard of anybody I know. She has this knack for using space properly for spreading things out and making everything easy to understand. And then, of course, you can't get noticed as Viz of the Day without having a Tableau Public profile, right? So this is a really useful way to get attention and to get noticed by potential employers or other people in the community. And building your Tableau Public profile, like I mentioned earlier, shows you can learn. So Lorna Brown is another visionary. I think she's maybe 4 or 5 years now, I think, something like that. So she runs Workout Wednesday. She's been through the data school as well. And look at her first visualizations. The one on the bottom right on the left-hand side, the yellow one, that was her application to the data school back in 2015. Hang on a second. Oh, hang on. Somebody's trying to come in the door. False alarm. Okay. Just completely destroyed my momentum there. Anyway, so if Lorna is quite embarrassed by that visualization, which is why I use it, right? Because if you look at what she did back then and what she can do now, you wouldn't even know it's the same person. I think she's probably got 400 or 500 visualizations on her Tableau Public profile now. But again, she hasn't deleted anything because she wants to be able to demonstrate that she knows how to learn. And then it also serves as a gallery. So as people scroll through your profile, they can see all of the different types of visualizations that you built. I put everything that I build on Tableau Public, right? There's going to be, well, of course, not things I build for the company, but anything else that I build, I put on Tableau Public. I make most things downloadable. The visual vocabulary is not downloadable because people re-upload it and replace my name with their name, which I think is kind of crappy of people to do. But do go out and check out the visual vocabulary. It's getting very close to 4 million views, so I'd like to get to that soon. So any extra clicks you can give, that'd be great. Yeah. But then another thing that I do is I have a Google Photos album. And I take a screenshot or 2 or 3, or I do a GIF and put them all into a Google Photos album. And this doesn't have to just be Tableau as well, right? You might be building visualizations in Power BI or in ClickSense or in Looker or in Excel, right? Take images of those and build a portfolio because you can easily just send somebody a link to a photo album. And then the third pillar the third theme that I got back was the community. So the Tableau community, the community is actually, without the community, I don't think Tableau would exist. It is the most important thing to Tableau and to all of our learning as well. The whole community is there to help you, to encourage you, and to make it a safe space for you to grow. One thing I've never seen in the Tableau community is a jerk, right? I think if that person existed, they would probably somehow get run out of the community. People would just ignore them. But everybody in the community is there to help you. The only thing you need to do is ask for that help. If somebody asks me for help and I can't help them, I'll just say, I'll say, yeah, sorry, I can't help right now, but here are other resources that can help you along the way. There's lots of different ways you can engage with the community. You've got LinkedIn, X, Threads, Slack, lots of different Slack channels. Of course, Tableau Public and the forums. And then, of course, I've got my own training program that has its own community as well. Now, here's 8 people. Does anybody know? These are 8 visionaries. Does anybody know what they have in common? Anybody want to guess? Other than they're all humans? Well, Ravi is questionable. I'm not sure, but so they all went to the data school, right? These are 8 people that all went through the data school. And one of the ethos behind that was we want people, I'm not there anymore, but we wanted people that go through the program to really buy into this community, to give back. And none of these people sought out to be an ambassador or to be a visionary. They got it by their contributions. So your goal shouldn't be to become an ambassador or a visionary. Your goal should be to give to others. And then if you do enough of that giving, you show your expertise, you will become an ambassador. You will become a visionary. Okay, so I skipped my own slide there. This is a picture from our Christmas party at in Amsterdam in July. So our Christmas parties used to be in July because it was too cold to have them in the winter. All right. Now, the long-term benefits of being part of a community is and building that portfolio and some of the other things I talked about is jobs will actually start coming to you. If you're posting content If you are sharing what you build on Twitter or on LinkedIn, people are going to notice your profile and they're going to start coming to you to offer you jobs. For me, it gave me the opportunity to live abroad. There's a lot of other people I know that has happened with as well. You might, maybe not abroad, but maybe you get to live in a different state. You can start to live that lifestyle you want because you're going to be doing the kind of work that you love to do. And when you do the kind of work you love to do, you're just going to become better at it. You're going to perform better. You're going to get recognized better. You'll move up in the company, things like that. You'll build some amazing skills. And for me, I've built a lot of friends for life just through the Tableau community. I would think that probably, almost all of my friends are in the Tableau community or I've met through the Tableau community. It's a really, really incredible group to be a part of. But there are some things to keep in mind. If you are inspired by somebody else when you build something in Tableau and you publish it up to Tableau Public, make sure that you give them credit. It could be tagging them on LinkedIn or on Twitter. But when you publish something to Tableau Public, there is at the bottom of the visualization, there is a place where you can tag that person or tag the visualization that inspired you. You just take their link and you copy and paste it into that section. And then the two things are linked together and people know that that's who inspired you. But ultimately, don't worry about trying to please other people. Do it for yourself. It's important that you have your own ambitions and that the reason you're doing this kind of stuff is to improve your own skills. I mentioned before, don't delete anything. And remember, everyone started somewhere. Go back to any of us that have been around a long time. Go back to our Tableau Public profiles. Go back to the beginning, and you'll see a dramatic change in the things we do. I bet if you go back to the first question that Jim answered on the forums, it would be quite different than the way that he answers questions now. And that all comes with experience. He had to start somewhere. Do you remember the first question that you answered, Jim?
I'm certain I answered it wrong, but I really don't remember the first question. But one of our fellow visionaries remembers the first question he asked, and I happened to answer it. So if you think that doesn't carry over for a long period of time, it does.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And one of the things that really, really annoys me is don't be ChatGPT. Don't copy and paste things. Use it as a resource. I use it every single day. I use it to help me generate ideas, but don't copy and paste responses. I posted something on LinkedIn maybe a month or so ago, and I said, I'm seeing too many responses that are copy and paste from ChatGPT. If I see you do it, I'm going to delete your comment and I'm going to block you because I don't want to see that. I want to see authenticity in the contributions people are making to the community. And of course, most importantly, have fun. If you're not enjoying it, don't do it. Okay, so my best advice, just get started. That's the only way to start building that profile and become so good at Tableau that you don't need me anymore. All right, and with my program, I guarantee results. If you're interested in learning more about next level Tableau, you can just go to, this is all the stuff you get, live training, workshops. There's already about 70 or 80 hours worth of live content out there. You get workshops, office hours, on-demand training, lots and lots of stuff. If you're interested, go to nextleveltableau.com. All of the pricing is on there. If you have any questions, let me know. And thank you very much, Jim and team, for inviting me to chat today.
That was fantastic. I don't know if Reyes or somebody in Q&A, are there any questions left over that need to be answered? I know it was very active there, and you guys were doing a great job.
I think we have most covered.
Yeah, I think there is one question which is posted on LinkedIn. It's like, could you discuss jobs and freelance work through Tableau Public opportunities?
That's a big question. Well, first off, if you don't have a profile, you're not going to get them. That's one thing. I've had people reach out to me and ask me that same question. And I ask them to send me their Tableau Public profile. And they might have one or two visualizations on there. And I write it back and said, I'd never hire you. And they say, why? I said, well, what are you showing me that shows me you have the skills that I need to hire you to be a freelancer or to as a full-time employee even, right? So, and I get the excuse, well, everything I build is for work. That's okay. Mock up the data, recreate it, and post it on your Tableau Public profile. It doesn't take long at all to do that, right? There's no excuses for that kind of stuff.
And probably, as you said, we have so many community projects which we can definitely work on. So
Yep.
that's the best way to showcase your data.
The opportunities are there, right? Yeah.
Right. Thanks.
To that point, Andy, I also volunteer with a boot camp here in Nashville, and I was doing some portfolio reviews for them a couple of weeks ago, and one of them had a Tableau Public profile. Except when I asked them, "Have you ever used it?" "Oh yeah, let me show you this," and they showed me some work that they did. That was very good work, and my reply was, "Well, why don't you have it on public? Why don't you have it out there where people can see it?" Hey, be aware, if somebody's going to hire somebody for a job that requires data visualization skills, they're going to go out to Tableau Public and see if you're there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same analogy like I used for the interior designer, right? You know, it's the same exact thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maddie and Laura, let us know when you're ready with the Kahoots quiz, because we do a live Kahoots quiz here. We'll probably insist that you participate. You'll win no money. You'll win no prizes.
Oh, forget it then.
Yeah, I know. I don't get involved because I get embarrassed. You know, I end up down at the bottom. Let us know when you're ready, and we can go ahead and get started with the Kahoots quiz.
Great presentation, Andy. Thank you. And then I can also confirm that Tableau Public was really the single most important piece on my Tableau journey to get started. And you start with 1, and then you're at 10, and then you're at 50, and it's just fun to do, and you keep doing it. And that was really, really great.
Absolutely.
Can you guys hear me? I just want to double check.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we actually got the Kahoot quiz done, so I'm gonna start sharing my screen, and then let me share my screen, and then we'll get started.
Okay.
Yep.
Laura, just maybe check for the volume, the music volume. Just mute that.
Good call.
Now, after the Kahoots quiz, we have some very important announcements coming up for people going to TC and also for those people not going to TC. So let's get started with the quiz.
Yep. Give me a minute.
So while we wait for the Kahoot to start, okay, we good.
Yeah. Can you guys hear the volume or no?
No, volume is fine. No volume, as in that kind of
Okay.
disturbs.
Okay.
We're good
So
now.
I'm gonna
We
start.
can get
Yeah.
started.
Okay. So that's the pin. So feel free to join. As of now, we have almost 177 people in here, so I'll wait for at least 70 just so I can start. Oh, this is cute. Let me make it full screen. I can have a few more people join. Maddie helped me a lot with the questions that we had. I like the new icons, actually. I don't think we had that before.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I was about to ask you. It was something that you had.
Oh,
set it
no.
up, or-
Yeah, I don't think we had that. Previously, we just had like different names.
Right.
I'll just give it one more minute and then a few more people if they want to join. More seconds, and then I'll get started. I'll wait until it's, oh, wow, 80. Almost 80. I'll wait until 80 and then I'll start. It's 2 more. Oh, also, oh my God. Yeah, we usually don't have 80 people joining, so this is great. I'm gonna get started just so we are not losing time.
Yes.
So what can you use to make quick visuals? This graph's actually from an older session, so if you guys go back and rewatch our recordings, you'll kind of see which presentation session that we have that this graph is from. Awesome. Yeah. So the way you use to make quick visuals is from Show Me. I know some people use the Analytics tab, but it lets you do some more complicated stuff there. But yes, Show Me helps us. Awesome.
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. Let's go to the next question. This is one of the first things that Klaus did. Let's see how this goes.
This looks
I
like a
chose
Tableau certification exam question.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Probably trying to trip people up. Awesome. Yeah, we do the 2 dimensions to start a highlight table. That was a very small thing that he mentioned. I like noticing things like that and then making people's life difficult. Ooh, Pandy. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. This is a question by Maddie, and I thought it was very this is also kind of tricky. Awesome. Yeah, so you can have, if you have an incorrect number of dimension measures, some things might not be unavailable in Show Me, and you can do that. You can add correct dimensions, and the different charts will show up in Show Me. Awesome, Coach Andy. Can you get ideas from Show Me for other charts? Can you or no? Who knows? I have no idea. This is the bullet chart that was created, but I have no idea. One, okay. Yes, you can get ideas for other charts from Show Me. Let's see who's Coach Andy. Is that you, Andy, or somebody else? That's so funny. Okay. Awesome.
Don't let him win.
No, don't let him win, guys. This is something that Klaus did. So to build a map, you have to have at least one Y. Yeah, like Viraj mentioned it. I feel like I'm asking certification questions, but good to know.
Yep.
Good to know.
Good to know. We are preparing for the exams as well.
I'm super competitive.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, you need one spatial and geofield. Otherwise, you will not be able to get a map show up on Show Me or even in other map types. Let's see who. Oh, don't let him win. He's winning. Melissa, please overtake Coach Andy. So let's see how it goes. You can always go to TC24 or attend sessions on Salesforce Plus. So you can improve your charts. Like I know there's definitely dashboard tips and tricks going on TC. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys remember, but when Klaus was editing his simple bar chart, he was in the format option so much. He basically just made that chart go from 0 to like 100 from the format section. So that's one of the main options that I also use and when I'm trying to change or improve my charts. Let's go to the next one. Oh no, Coach Andy. Okay, I hope he overtakes. Andy did talk about this. I don't know, Andy, if you want to choose this answer, but
That's a great question.
thank you. Yeah, so you can choose all of it. You just have to go one by one. So Andy mentioned in his talk that you first focus on a skill, whether it may be line chart, bar chart, whatever it may be. You can develop a style if you would like, or you can get creative with how you do the charts. But sometimes you can also just go and learn new techniques. So all of them apply to how you can develop your Tableau Public profile. Let's see if it's Coach Andy still. Ooh, Coach Andy is still winning. Okay. What are some ways you can use the Tableau Public? I think I made these questions easy. I forgot to add something funny and then it didn't work. So yeah.
There's always a lot of pressure on the person creating the questions.
Yes.
Yeah, I usually try to put something funny, but this time I could not come up with anything.
And Laura always does it on the flies, no, Andy? So it's real time. So
Oh, do you make these up as the presentations go on?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, me and Maddie were getting the questions up. Yeah, awesome. I don't know about, ooh, Andy's still here. Let's see. I don't know if we talked about this, but I think we did. So you can click something random. Two of them are.
Jim mentioned it.
You mentioned it. Okay, if you hear what Jim mentioned, two of them are my friend's pets' names. So I never mentioned it, but
Sushi, that's a good one.
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, it's Maggie. I know Sushi and Daisy are popular, but Daisy's one of my friend's dog, and Sushi's a cat. So not a dog.
Maggie has her own Instagram, by the way, if anybody wants to see what Maggie's life is like.
Maggie did look
Nice.
like an awesome dog. Okay, so I think that's, yeah, and this is just our next meeting. So if anybody did not get to RSVP, please RSVP right now. If you are able to. Yeah, we're meeting with Lindsay May 22nd. Yeah. And let's see who I'm gonna go to the podium. I'm pretty sure I know who it might be, but
it doesn't count.
It doesn't count, right?
No,
yeah.
I'll take myself out.
Yeah, if it's Coach Andy, then we'll have to take itself out. So it is Coach Andy, but ma'am, you are the winner because Coach Andy had some bias, what we call data bias.
Okay, there you go.
Awesome. Thank you. Let me stop sharing.
That's really fun, Laura.
Oh, thank you.
And we are so fortunate. Laura and Maddie put that together on the fly, and they do it every time. And
That's amazing.
amazed. You know, it's fun. It's fun doing it. Klaus, you want to pull up the rest of the slides because we got a couple of very important announcements to make here.
Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah. Okay, there we are. First of all, if you are going to TC, we'd be glad to see you. If you're not going to TC, why not? There's still time to sign up. You can come out and see us. There's 3 events. There's probably more than that, but there's 3 events out there that we really want you to participate in. First of us, Maddie and Laura and Klaus and I are hosting a newbie meetup. It's going to be on Monday, the 29th at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's when you get there, you'll get to Data Village, and it's in an area adjacent to Data Village. I'm pretty certain we're going to have some coffee, but we'd love to meet you, shake your hand, get to know more about you and where you are in your Tableau journey. Klaus, you want to talk about the event that you've got?
Yeah, I teamed up with Richard from Van Wijk from Apps for Tableau from the Netherlands, and I will showcase my first extension that I've built. So a cool KPI product around showing value driver trees, and that will be in the Data Village Theater on Tuesday around noon.
And then Diego Martinez and I don't know if you know Diego. Diego is a visionary, but he and I are also forum ambassadors, and we are doing a presentation. We're doing it twice. It's on our top 10 favorite questions we ever got from the forum, and we're going to go in, and there's quite a variety in there, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. We'd love to see you on the 29th. It's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's in the pavilion, and I think it's like stage 3. I'm not exactly certain, but you'll be able to see it. And on the 30th, at 8:30. We're in one of the breakout rooms, number 5. We'd love to see you there also. Now, there's one more slide, Klaus. There's one additional opportunity we have, and those are for people who aren't going to TC, but do live in the Nashville area. Andy and Ava are going to be live in person on April 30th in Nashville. And there's still plenty of time to sign up and join us there. We'd love to see you there. If you look down in the chat, Pam Butler, Pam, you can't wave your hand, but I'll wait for you. Pam Butler and Lindsay Meyer are going to be hosting that meeting. And do come and see them. They're absolute legends. You get a chance to meet them live and in person. Okay, and that ends us for today. Andy, we can't thank you enough. We really appreciate it, what you did today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you're doing in Nashville. I think that's fabulous. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we clock off here?
If you're at TC, feel free to drop by the Newbie meetup, and we'll be so happy to see you. That's all. I'm gonna be enjoying meeting all of you.
Yeah, Laura's very experienced with TC. Maddie, this is her first TC, so come by. You can meet a newbie there also.
I'd like to thank you all for running this newbie tug. It's just one of the best things that in the Tableau community. So thank you for the time you all put into it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy, for being with us today. Good.
Hi, everybody.
See you all at TC.
See you.
Yeah. Okay. Right.